Hey there. I am here in my living room at 7:38 in the morning with my coffee. I've been up for a while, just doing some work. I usually wake up at 6, but I wanted to talk about working with friends some more. So, yesterday I was talking about how my friends and I will get together and do what we call work cycles, which is very, very loosely adapted from ultra working. We definitely don't follow their format. We just kind of follow the general idea of hopping on a Zoom call with friends and then everyone's taking care of the work they want to get done. So, I wanted to carry that conversation a little bit forward and talk not just about like working alongside friends, but also working with friends. Now, this is something that in some ways is kind of new to me. Um, I identify as a solopreneur. It's not really a real word, but it's a made up word. But basically, I've been working by myself for a long time. Running piano TV has largely been a solo venture. I do work with a friend though, who does the video editing and stuff like that. But the manner in which we work is largely like I do what I'm doing, and then I send my videos off to him, and then he does what he does. He edits, and then he uploads. So even though we're both working on the same project, it's still very separate work. So it still feels like essentially like working by myself. I've done a lot of writing in the past too, which is obviously writing tends to be a pretty solo effect. I do a lot of songwriting, which even though I work with bands, a lot of the writing part, like the sitting down and practicing piano parts or like coming up with ideas, is just me sitting by myself. So I've kind of through most of my life had this experience of working with my by myself. As a piano teacher, that's true too. So even when I worked at a music school and I had coworkers, and even though I was teaching students, so it was social, I was still effectively working by myself. I was creating my own curriculum. I was making my own rules. I was going through my own process and stuff like that. So one thing that I've come to learn over the last year, and this has been a really major shift I've been finding, is that working with other people is actually super awesome and always seemed like kind of a hassle or kind of pointless as someone who, I just do my own businesses and stuff like that. And that just seems easier in some way, which is why I've never really explored working with other people. But over this last year, I've started getting involved. So say with Piano TV, me and my editor, we kind of have this relationship where we kind of work separately. But earlier in this year, in February, I released a course, and for the first time, I actually brought in a friend who has a lot of technical savvy. He's really good at course launches and the website design and just like ideas. He's a very good like detail person, and it came up just randomly. Like we were having a conversation one day. It was like, "Hey, I'm doing this launch. Feel like helping?" And it came together in a couple of weeks. It was pretty spontaneous, but that experience really was just like, wow, this is like so much better than if I would have done it myself, first of all, because he just brought like a level of quality of ideas and stuff that I just wouldn't have been able to generate on my own. But it was also super, super fun. So instead of just, sitting by myself typing, doing like, being in my own zone, we had meetings, we were collaborating and communicating, and it was just such a great experience. So from there, I was like, huh, okay. So maybe I don't always have the best ideas, and maybe if I work with other people, they'll have better ideas. And then as such, whatever I'm working on will just be all the more better. So I kind of carried that forward. So in September, this month, I've just recently done like a pop course on my piano TV channel. And it's been a lot more collaborative between me and Logan. We've had more conversations. And I also have a couple other people who have been doing like little bits and pieces here and there. So it's been a little bit more of a group project. And from here forward, I'm experimenting with the idea of having meetings, like kind of creating a team, sort of an informal team with Piano TV, where I want to get together to discuss video ideas. And so for the last 5 years of Piano TV, I've been creating most of the video ideas. I mean, Logan's had some input too, but for the most part, I'm creating the ideas and I'm executing them. But having meetings with them and having conversations with them about video ideas is so much more expansive than things that I would think of myself, and also funny. Like we've been coming up with some video ideas that are like more in the comedy style, which is way out of my comfort zone. But having those planning sessions with them and stuff is super super fun, and I think that they'll end up being like kind of goofy videos. So Yeah, so I've been having some great experiences working with friends lately. I'm also working on like a totally non-piano TV related project with friends as well. I have a couple things in the works, one of which I've mentioned briefly, I think yesterday, is I'm working, or Sunday when I was talking through my review, but I'm working on a cooking challenge, like a vegan cooking challenge thing, which is going to be like a video. It's essentially like a video project, and yeah, so it's not just if it was just me coming up with like I've been bugged by my friends to do vegan cooking videos for like the last ever, because I've been to culinary school, I've done stuff like that, and I just it seems like a lot of work. I don't know, like there's a lot of really good food channels and stuff out there, like food videos, and I know that my food videos would not be like, Food Network quality shooting because I just don't have the time, the energy, the capacity to do that. But since I'm working with other people and I have a couple friends who are helping put this idea together, I can focus more on just like create a recipe and film it, where they can fill in some of the gaps in terms of like creating the web page and writing the copy and stuff like that. So I can just stick in my lane, the lane that I most want to focus on, without having to get into like a whole bunch of other different lanes. And then it's like this huge project that ends up consuming a whole bunch of my time. Because between piano TV stuff, between getting my music album out into the world, and being parents and everything, I just do not have time to invest in another like giant project. But I can get involved with my friends and they fill in the blanks so that everyone's workload is a little bit more diffused. And then we end up creating, in theory, something that's much greater than what any of us individually could do. So this has been totally just like changing my mind about working alone and thinking about how even things that seem solo. So I've been reapproaching music as well because I do a lot of songwriting by myself. But when I went to the studio this summer, there was a lot of like writing on the fly and collaborating with the people I was recording with. So my producer friend plays bass and he was in there, and the sound engineer, recording engineer, played guitar and drums. So, and like he had percussion ideas, so we were all kind of like getting in there and collaborating, and I don't know, it's really really fun. It makes me wish that COVID wasn't a thing so I could get into like jam sessions again, into playing shows again, because I really miss the camaraderie when my band used to get together and practice 2 times a week and play shows all the time, when it was the four of us as the Criminal Kid back in like a decade ago basically. There's some like level of accountability that's there too when you're not just by yourself. So if I'm writing music by myself, it's like, I could write a song or I could just watch Netflix or something, right? But if we have like a jam appointment, somewhere to be, something to do, other people who are waiting for you, suddenly it becomes much more purposeful. And sometimes that little bit of accountability is enough to actually get you to show up. So the same is true with piano TV. I haven't really been doing regular videos this year, like on YouTube. I used to have like a pretty rigid 2 videos a week posting schedule, and that has not been true of 2020 at all, because it's largely been on my Steam to do that. I haven't really been like working directly with people. But working directly with people, it's like, okay, I gotta like show up to our meetings and have ideas. I have to like execute the ideas that we talk about. So it makes me more able to show up and do my best work than if I'm just kind of working on my own. So that's been a really cool experience, and that's something about the work cycles, which my friends are on right now, that have been really nice too, because it's at 6 in the morning, so it's like that accountability to just get out of bed and start working, because I know that my friends are going to be on the work cycle at 6 in the morning, not 6 in the morning in their time zones, because there are some people from, like, I have a friend from India, I have some European friends, everyone's kind of in different time zones, but yeah, it gets me out of bed. So the best things that I've been finding for working with friends is that better ideas, so way better ideas than if I was just working by myself, more accountability, and more fun. So I kind of want to just keep doing this for the rest of my life and not function so much as like a solo person, but be more a part of a team. Because it's just, I don't know, maybe some of the you guys, I don't know if you have like traditional jobs or if you work for yourself or what you do for work, but I do remember when I used to have regular jobs that coworkers make all the difference. And my favorite jobs were not the ones where I liked the work. They were the ones where I had awesome people that I was seeing every day. So that's the thing, right? If you have somewhere to show up to and there's really cool people to talk to or hang out with, it just makes your days so much more bright and lovely and enjoyable. So I'd be curious about you guys, like if you've kind of had this experience, if you work by yourself and then like experimented working with people, or if you're not an entrepreneur, if you kind of, I'd like to know, like just feel free to share in the comments as well, like if you have had the experience of like, you know, having really great coworkers and that being the reason to like, you know, hang out in a job that you're not like in love with, but you love the people, because yeah, I think the people make all the difference. So anyway, thank you so much for showing up and watching today, and I'll catch you tomorrow.